air tickets and the cost of ransom. So you have to compare both. And the choice is yours. It's yours to take. And you can risk it, you can gamble it, it's up to you. That is the situation Nigeria is. So when people tell you that what is happening is just being exaggerated so that the government can look bad, the government is bad. All these things shouldn't even be happening at all. Now, in a country where traveling interstate is not safe, the likes of Bello, Turji, they are still roaming and all over the place in their thousands. This is his recent video. This guy is called Bello Turji.
Yawwa musulmi muna muku sallama irin ta addinin musulunci al'ummar duniya da fatan kowa dai na cikin koshin lafiya. To insha Allah dai ga giwon nan ta sake tahowa ba sai na faɗa ba insha Allah. Sunana dai kowa ya sani ba ma sai na faɗa ba, sunana dai bari in sake nanatawa da wanda bai da gane ni ba sai ki da fahimta na. Sunana Muhammadu Bello Turji. Insha Allah ta'ala wannan faifan bidiyo za mu fitar da shi yau muna Alhamis 7 ga watan 8 shekara ta 2025. Insha Allah al'umma musulmi muna wa kowa da kowa fatan alkhairi insha Allah. Mu dama yan uwana musulmi ba wani abu bane.
So characters like that are hiding in the forest that surrounds the country. And that is why if you ever feel like it is none of your business, like it doesn't affect you or something, it is because you're not paying attention. And some of you want to wait till it becomes like you become a direct victim. You don't want to be a victim, but denying it simply means that until you become a victim, you are likely never going to understand why a lot of people are holding the government responsible, that they should do their job. But you know why they won't, and why everybody will continue to be in that risk, because politics is more important to them than your protection. Politics before anything. Politics before everything. And that is what makes them very much dangerous. Even you who support them, you are indeed like a danger to yourself too. Because how long do you think it's likely going to happen to somebody close to you as well? Or even you yourself? It's all right. Here is a Benin Republic representative giving the vote of thanks and appreciation to Nigeria's help in protecting their president, their country, and then their democracy from the disgruntled military that plotted a coup. Do you know, I can tell you a brief thing. No, you know what? Listen to this first, so I can then tell you some background stories surrounding the coup that happened in, or that failed in Benin Republic. But here is a very grateful Bedinois, right? To Nigeria, the Bedinois representative, a Benin government representative. We're so grateful to what Nigeria did for them, the promptness, the resources deployed. Here you get in that timely manner. But Nigerians never enjoy that. That's so sad. But what Nigeria missed, or Nigeria said lost, is Benin Republic's gain. And with that little gesture, they are forever grateful. Watch this.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I will start speaking in English and then I will move to French because I have, also our media and there is few media, French-speaking media here. We are here as part of our ordinary, ministerial meeting within Ecowas, and my brother and I, we think that it was important to come and brief you about what happened in Benin a few days back. And as he rightly mentioned, I think it's really important. It was important for all of us within our community, and especially for the two leaders of Benin and Nigeria. So, respectively, Their Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria and President Patrice Talon of Benin, to show clearly that, ECOWAS region is still an area where democracy prevails. This is very important, and we show that in our region, in our environment. We cannot accept those attempts to democracy. We request, the intervention of under ECOWAS protocol of Nigeria and other countries, so Côte d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, and Ghana, who also offer the support, was after request of Benin. We request the support of our brothers and sisters, not because our army was not capable to do it, because actually, the loyalist force in Benin, they stop, the attention, and they gain back. I will switch to French because it's very important what I have to say. Je disais que l'intervention du Nigeria, la réponse du Nigeria sous le mandat de la CEDEAO a été une réponse à la requête du Bénin, des autorités béninoises. Non pas parce que l'armée béninoise n'était pas capable de répondre, l'armée béninoise avait réussi à empêcher et à repousser cette tentative de coup d'État, à les mettre dans un retranchement, mais simplement et essentiellement parce que le président de la République ne souhaitait pas qu'il y ait des pertes en vies humaines importantes. Et le camp dans lequel les assaillants étaient retranchés aurait pu, si on y allait tout seul, ça aurait pu entraîner énormément de dégâts. Et c'est la raison pour laquelle le président Patrice Talon a demandé le soutien de la République fédérale du Nigeria, soutien que nous avons obtenu. Et comme l'a dit mon frère, cela a démontré une fois de plus que notre organisation régionale, la CEDEAO, est un outil important, un outil qui permet de défendre la démocratie, de défendre les valeurs de démocratie dans notre espace sous-régional, et c'est la chose la plus importante. Aujourd'hui, and this is very important, we are here for the ministerial meeting of ECOWAS. It's an ordinary meeting, but I think few days after...
Grateful, we are thankful. Let me give you a backstory of what led to the coup in the Benin Republic a few days ago, just like he said. When Talon was to become their president, so primarily, the term of office for president is 5 years. Sure you get. So when Talon, their president, wanted to run for office, it was like the Dangote of Benin Republic. He had money. He's a cotton magnate, is called. Like he's the biggest cotton, dealer in the entire country. Yeah, it was that rich. Enough that the country actually sort of like agreed that the country needed somebody who had run companies or run businesses successfully like that. So he sold himself that way. And he also told them that he will only run for one term, that 5 years is enough to change things around. And a lot of people believed that he didn't need their money. So immediately, he became their president in Benin Republic. That have actually had a very stable democracy for a very long time, by the way. Not like others who have suffered different military coup here and there and all that. They did suffer theirs too, by the way, but yeah, stabilized for a while. So when Talon won election, right, the next thing, somehow, they started changing the constitution, slowly but surely. First, he created the position of vice president that they never really had, so he created one. And then on and on and on, okay, he kept changing the laws, like codedly, whereby supposed opposition parties, like what Tinubu is doing in Nigeria, that's the way Talon did his own is different. For example, he convinced them that there's too many political parties in the country. So you get that for political parties to qualify, okay, they will need to have at least $500,000 registration application fee. Not just that. And they must meet, I think they must meet some two-third approval from some members of their his own appointed sort of like ministries and all that. So anyway, but that's probably later. He did all of this. Then he attempted to run for a second term by reneging on his own promise. By then, it all came down to like maybe just one political party, apart from his own party, that could meet the requirement to be known as what do you call it? Known as opposition party to run against him. Now, their candidate for that election, suddenly, meanwhile, also constitutionally, to become a candidate, a presidential candidate, after your party must have nominated you, you must also get something like consent or approval or something from about 17 or so members of the judiciary or so. Like, Isha categorized all kinds of, people that you have to get approval from. For example, let's say for you to run for president of Nigeria, you must get approval from 200 House of Representative members must sign it, must sign your form. Okay. 60 senators must sign your form. Okay. All the judges, a certain number of them must sign your form. And if you can't get all this kind of like a consent from all of these people, then you will not be qualified to run for president. So the opposition party that managed to meet the $500,000 registration fee, they now had a dilemma of their candidate can run because all the people the candidates who have to go to, they all belong to Talon. Here you get, so they went to court. People protested. But at the end of the day, it was just Talon running against himself for second term. It got worse to the point that now they have now changed what is called it's actually the National Assembly, I remember now. So his own party controls about 80% of the National Assembly. So for you to run for president, you will need to get the approval of at least 70 or 80 of them, of these House members, which you will never get. So when they went to court, the court didn't help. You get me now? Court didn't help. So when the people protested, they rolled out the tanks, shot at people, killed people, in fact, to the point that Beninians are no longer that eager to protest anymore, like in Nigeria. It's happening in Benin Republic. So this time around, when Talon got his second term, it is National Assembly this year, 2025, amended the Constitution, whereby the president will now spend, instead of 5 years, he will spend 7 years. They have election next year, 2026, so they have election next year. Also, in the new Constitution, Talon has now created a new position in the National Assembly. That position is for the former president of the country, and they will now be more or less like, the way you have the Senate president. So this former president's position is more or less like above that. Okay? So constitutionally, he will be president for life until he dies. Meanwhile, while all of this were going on in Benin Republic, in northern part of the Benin Republic, which shared border with Burkina Faso, Mali, and also partly Nigeria, northern parts, all this ISWAP, JNI, Boko Haram, all these bombing killings that Nigeria is suffering, Benin Republic is suffering same. The killings of soldiers, here you get kidnapping of soldiers, taking their weapons by these terrorists, Benin is suffering the same. And the poor pay of soldiers, they are suffering the same. So in the midst of all of this political, like Talon has practically, technically, conquered all political opposition. And his own political party will now rule almost forever. And he himself, life president. Here you get all of this done through the constitution and in the last 8 years. So this is why, this is the build up to this, what do you call it, this coup that Tinubu sent the aircraft and is currently has currently sent soldiers to go and protect all that Talon has managed to achieve. And all these disgruntled people who wanted to use coup and all of them, here you get me now, they can just go to places. Talon, billionaire. He was quoted to have, to actually worth over $450 million when he was running for president of the country. He was a multimillionaire. He was the richest cotton magnate from that axis. So everybody practically believed that he didn't need Benin Republic's money. He was coming to, and mind you, plausibly, right? He actually did well. Yeah, they said infrastructurally, Benin Republic improved. Their economic improved. Their per capita income improved. You can't say the same of Burkina Faso. They have been under the Burkina Faso, Mali, or Niger Republic, who have been under the puppet rulers, the French puppet rulers that got overthrown, right? So they said, apart from this political arm twisting, turning the country to a one-party state, a one-party country, and all of them going after his enemy and crushing them his own way, Baba, they said the person that wanted to contest with Talon for his second term, the opposition that tried to contest with him, then got disqualified, went to court. That person is currently serving 20 years in jail, just so you know, in Benin Republic, yeah. They accused her of money laundering and I think evasion of tax and then terrorism. She is in jail. There are quite there are quite a number of opposition figures. Not like in Nigeria that you don't have all this your opposition in jail. Maybe Tinubu will begin to send some of them to jail on trumped up cases, charges, or whatever. It's already happening. It's happening in Benin Republic. Just so you know. So all of this kind of contributed to the reactions of the people when they first heard about the coup. You remember the reaction was that everybody was on the street like, yeah. Then all of that just died down when Nigeria sent aircraft, fighter jets to start bombing some locations. They did though. And right now, you can't even see much of that in the news. And they will eternally be grateful to Tinubu because according to them, the fact that those fighter jets flew over several times across the country, right, sort of gave a signal that the coup didn't succeed because the coupists, they left the president. They left the president. They went on to go and arrest soldiers, some senior military officers, but they left Talon. And that's how Talon got grip and got sent out a signal, distress signal to Abuja, and bang, Nigerian fighter jets were all over. Military, all of them were en route to Benin Republic. It was actually going to be a total kind of face-off, like what Tinubu wanted to do in Niger Republic when that guy got overthrown, right? Just like that, stand by. And then they came back to say it was like an arrangement under Ecowas. Nah, it's not. You get? But Nigerians don't enjoy that. Nigerians never really enjoys that. That kind of, security promptness, alertness like that, reaction, unfortunately. But yeah, that's Benin Republic. Back to Nigeria, okay? Ogere this afternoon. If you were traveling to Ibadan, or you are traveling to Lagos from Ibadan, and of course you probably will pass it through Ogere around 11 a.m. this morning. Well, some truckers were protesting, right? They said one of the trucks had been robbed, mugged, so they stole a battery from one of the trucks. And in protest, they just moved their trucks and they blocked the road temporarily, right? I don't know how they resolved it too. But in this time and tension, this somebody who made a video and his own reaction.
Lagos Ibadan is barricaded. This side is free. Now this car has been barricaded by the Hausa people. They say they see their battery or they remove the battery in their truck. Because of that, they will not allow anybody to move again. There are vehicles behind Lagos Ibadan Expressway. This is the road leading to Lagos. They block the other side too. The road leading from Lagos leading to Ibadan. This is the truck they use.